Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Oh.
Let's begin. Today is the 5th day of the first month in the 9th year of Channel Group, February 16, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. 천지인 천부모님께 경배. 바로 가족맹세.
가정맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상천국과 천상천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모셔 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
For the opening prayer, may I call the regional leader of CAR region, Tita Connie Gawick.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Please join me in prayer. Good morning, dearest Heavenly Parents, victorious true parents, the parent of heaven, earth, and humankind. We thank you sincerely from the bottom of our hearts for the extension of our lives, for this new day, once again, to enjoy as one family with my brothers and sisters worldwide, heavenly parents, and altogether with a joyful heart and gratitude for this morning devotion, reading and learning with your holy word, in your holy words, our most loving heavenly parents, together as we share our hearts with you in order to gain wisdom, to bring us to a higher leap of faith and understanding, because you wanted us, our most loving heavenly parents, to inherit the spirit of true love from you as the very source, our most loving heavenly parents, of goodness, true love, true life, and true lineage, and that you wanted heavenly parents to be inherited from you because it is the eternal happiness, heavenly parents, for humanity. Heavenly parents, please allow us to encourage one another through this Hondoke education to digest and figure out within on how to embody your holy words in order for us to become your filial sons and daughters of heaven, whom you could be proud of, our most loving heavenly parents. We deeply pray then, together with my brethren, that you will bear with us as we move forward, bringing those people whom you had already prepared to come closer to you in order to inherit true love from you, our most loving Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, true parents, because that is the only way for them to also become happy. This we would like Heavenly Parents to truly be very grateful, and because it is our portion of responsibility as your children to raise heavenly parents, brothers and sisters, to come to you, our most loving heavenly parents, centered on true love. True parents, you have raised us with your sweat, tears, and blood, and I deeply pray, heavenly parents, that Through this, as you save us, our most loving Heavenly Parents, we could be able to learn how to save others, Heavenly Parents, to bring back to you, as this is your utmost desire. Loving Heavenly Parents and victorious true parents, allow us then to invite your most holy and divine presence to be here with us this morning devotion as we carefully listen to your message from our very young and our energetic and hardworking national leader, our dear brother Leo Angelo Halog, our most loving heavenly parents, as your mouthpiece to speak to us, to all of us, about your holy words and message for this day. We, heavenly parents, then would like to express our sincerest gratitude as one family with my awesome brothers and sisters worldwide who are listening today and who come up early this morning in order, heavenly parents, to receive your blessings. Reporting these things in my name, John Conegawig, from the Blessed Central family. Aju.
Jew. Let us offer our individual prayer. Jew. Let us offer our greetings to our heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning, heavenly parents and true parents. To our national leader, good morning, Sir L.A.
Good
To all
morning.
our
Good
leaders,
morning.
elders, brothers and sisters, good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Yes. To our brothers and sisters joining in the center, you may now take your seat. Yes. Uh, Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our morning devotion. To begin, for our Hundok reading, let us welcome our sister Christine Bell de Apera.
Good morning, Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Good morning to all our leaders, elders, brothers, and sisters. Our reading for today is taken from um, True Mother's Autobiography, Mother of Peace, Chapter 2. I came into this world as the only begotten daughter.
Can you
Continue.
make it louder, Christine? Thank you.
Sige po. As a hen embraces her brood. When I was born, earth was groaning with anguish as a battleground in which people shed each other's blood. People dwelled in extreme confusion and darkness and heartlessly exploited each other. As part of this wretched mosaic, the Korean peninsula suffered indescribable torment under a Japanese occupation that lasted 40 years, from the 1905 Osanung-yak, a protectorate treaty between Korea and Japan, until our liberation in 1945. I was born during that period of oppression. I was born in 1943 in Anju, South Pyongan province of what is now North Korea at 4:30 a.m. on February 10 on the solar calendar and the 6th day of the first lunar month of that year. I remember clearly the address of my home, 26 Senu Ri Anjuyup, which has been renamed Chilsongdong in what is now the city of Anju. My home was not far from the center of the village, and the surrounding neighborhood had a very warm and cozy feeling, as if we were chicks cuddled under a mother hen. Unlike the thatched roof houses nearby, my house had a tile roof and a big front porch. Behind it rose a small verdant hill covered with chestnut and pine trees. Beautiful flowers bloomed and colorful leaves fell with the rhythm of the seasons, and I heard every kind of bird singing and chirping together. When spring warmed the earth, yellow forsythias smiled brightly between the fences, and azaleas bloomed red on the hill. A small stream flowed through our village, and except when it froze solid in midwinter, I could always hear the laughing sound of the water. I grew up enjoying the happy sounds of the birds and the stream, as if they were a choir of nature. Even now, thinking of life in my hometown is like snuggling into a cozy and heartwarming mother's embrace. This memory brings tears to my eyes. Between our house and the hill, we had a small cornfield. When the corn was ripe, the husks would crack and yellow kernels of corn would appear through the long silky hair. My mother would boil the ripened corn, put a generous number of cobs in a bamboo basket, and call our neighbors to come and eat. They would come into our house through the gate built from sticks, sit in a circle on our porch, and eat cobs of corns with us. I remember wondering why their faces did not look very bright, even though they were gratefully eating a delicious meal. Thinking about it years later, I realized these people were impoverished due to severe exploitation of the occupying government. I would squeeze in between the grown ups and try to eat the kernels off a small cob of corn, but as a child, I was never successful. Noticing me, my mother would smile gently, break off some yellow kernels from her cob, and put them in my mouth. I remember the sweet corn kernels rolling around in my mouth as if it were yesterday. The Dali Bridge legend. Mother, why is where we live called Pyongan Province? I was full of curiosity, and whenever I had a question about something, I ran to my mother and asked her for the answer. Every time my mother responded kindly. Well, dear, she replied, it is called that because the Pyong part is the first character of Pyongyang and the An part is the first character of Anju. Why do they take one character from each name? I asked. It's because both of them are big districts, she said. Over time, Anju had grown into a large town. It was surrounded by expansive plains that were ideal for farming, and there was normally plenty to eat. My father, Han Sung-un, was born on January 20, 1909. He was the eldest of five children of Han Byung-gon and Choi Gi-byung of the Chunju Han clan at Yonghyung village by the city of Anju. My father entered Mansung Public Primary School in 1919 when he was 10. He had to leave after finishing the fourth grade, but his desire to learn led him to enter a private school, Yokyong School, in 1923, from which he graduated in 1925 at age 16. He then became a teacher at his alma mater, Yokyong School, for 10 years. During the chaotic period from Korea's liberation until 1946, he served as the vice principal of his other alma mater, Mansung Primary School. I lived with my father for only a brief time, but his gentle nature and features are engraved in my heart and my mind. He was meticulous and thrifty, and he was very strong. One day, he was out for a stroll on a local road when he saw some people struggling to clear a big rock from a rice field. He went over, lifted up the rock, and moved it out of the way. He was a devout Christian and a follower of Reverend Lee Yong-do, pastor of the New Jesus Church. Because of my father's work as a teacher and his active life of faith, he was rarely at home. He lived a life of service to God, even though the government tracked and persecuted Christians from independent churches such as his. My mother, Hong Sune, was born on March 18, 1914, in Cheonju, North Pyongan Province. That is the town where my husband, Father Moon, also was born. She and her younger brother, my uncle, were born to a devout Christian couple, Hong Yu Il and Jo Won Mu. My maternal grandmother, Jo Won Mu, was a direct descendant of Jo Han Jun, a wealthy scholar of the Joseon dynasty. Jo Han-jun lived in a village of tiled roofed houses in Cheonju, a community of people who held government positions. Not far from his home was a bridge across the Dali River. It once was a sturdy bridge made of neatly piled large stones, but over time it had deteriorated to the point that no one could cross it. No one had the time or resources to fix that bridge, and one day a flood swept it away and buried its stones in the river bed. As did everyone else, Johanju, Johanjun knew the prophecy that had been passed down for generations. If a rock carved like a totem pole standing beside a Delhi River bridge is buried, then the nation of Korea will fall. But if that rock is clearly exposed, to the people, then a new heaven and earth will unfold in Korea. The Dali River Bridge was important for another reason as well. In order for Chinese envoys to make their annual trek to the seat of Korea's government in Seoul, then named Hanyang, they had to cross that bridge. Now it was gone, and the government did not have money to rebuild it. In desperation, officials posted a bulletin calling upon the citizens to rebuild the bridge. Grandfather Johanjun accepted the call and rebuilt the bridge using his personal wealth. The sturdy new stone bridge was now high enough for boats to pass under. Grandfather Johanjun spent his entire fortune of his on this task, and when it was done, all he had left were three brass coins. These were just enough to pay for the new straw sandals that he needed in order to properly attend the bridge dedication ceremony the next day. That night, he had a dream of a grandmother in white clothes who came to him and said, Hanjun, Hanjun, your sincere devotion has moved heaven. I was expecting to send a son of heaven to your family. However, because you bought the sandals, I will send to your family the princess of heaven. Grandfather Johanjun awoke from that dream and found that a stone statue of the Maitreya Buddha suddenly had appeared near the bridge. Over the years, this miracle created such an atmosphere that all those who passed that Buddha would get off their horses to offer a bow before proceeding on their way. The people of the village marveled at this sign from God and built a shelter over the statue so that it would not be exposed to rain or wind. On this foundation of devotion and loyalty, generations later, in the family line of Jo Hanjun, God sent my maternal grandmother, Jo Won Mu. We three women, grandmother Jo Won Mu, her daughter, my mother, and I, all had a very deep Christian faith. We were also the only daughters born into our families over 3 generations. The providence to bring about the birth of God's only begotten daughter on the Korean peninsula was based upon countless conditions of devotion that started long ago with my ancestors, Hanlan and Johanjun, and continued through the generations to this time. God is your Father. My sweet child, shall we go to church? When I heard those words, I would run to my mother. She would take my hand in hers, and we would walk to church. I think the long walk with my mother was why I liked going to church. One Sunday, as we arrived back at our village after church, my mother stopped in her tracks. She plucked a wildflower blooming shyly on the roadside and tucked it into my hair, right behind the ear. She kissed my cheek and whispered to me with a delicate and loving voice, "How pretty you look, my one and only daughter of the Lord." Mother's eyes always looked the same. They were clear and deep, almost as if her irises were one with the blue sky. As I returned her gaze, I could glimpse traces of tears, but not knowing her deep heart, I was only excited and delighted by the words, "one and only daughter of the Lord." Mother often called me precious daughter of the Lord, with emphasis as if she were praying. Throughout her life, this was the term that she used when she prayed for me, her only daughter. In this way, I grew up feeling honored that I was the daughter of God, the daughter of the Lord. My maternal grandmother, Joan Mu, also looked into my eyes and told me clearly, "God is your father." Because of that, whenever I heard the word father, my heart would burst in my chest. For me, the word father brought to mind not my own father, but our heavenly Father. Because of such love in my home, I never worried about my life. Despite our poverty and despite my father not being with us, I always was content. This was because I knew that God was my father, that he was my reason for being alive, and that he was always right there by my side, taking care of me. I sensed that God was my real parent from the moment of my birth. I realize now that I had a sensitive spiritual intuition. My husband recognized this in me and complimented me for my insight into things that were taking place.
Aju. Aju. Let us offer our gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents, and to our sister Christine for that reading. Thank you, Christine. Yes. Now, for the 10 points of gratitude, let us welcome our sister Renaiza Castog.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. I would like to share some points of my gratitude. So here are the points of my gratitude. First, I would like to thank our heavenly parents of His love that He shared to the world, and He's also always patient ever since the world is created. And I would like to thank him as well for allowing me to discover the word and trueness through our true parents. Second one, thanks to true parents for their tireless love and patience in erecting Jesus Christ and all central figures who laid down foundations for our true parents. From Adam and Eve, thank you so much. I know that your course has never been easy, but despite of all the difficulties, you still managed to survive. And of course, to Hongjin-nim, Temonim, and Hyojin, thank you for helping true parents and allowing us to feel the closeness of our ancestors. With all the ancestors' liberations I have attended, um, right at the moment, I can really feel the love of all the spiritual good ancestors. Fifth one, I would like to thank all the true children of the true family for their efforts still to save people from going to hell. I know their courses aren't easy, but they still contribute to the providence of restoration. I do feel that they educate people back to heavenly parents and true parents in their own ways. To all people like you, brothers and sisters, working hard to make things possible in this world, to let people know that trueness is coming, that evilness is started to be eradicated. To the creation that continues to supplement the needs of our body, despite humanity's cruelty in the natural resources. The food we eat every day. Thank you so much. And next one, to this humble training center that always accommodate us. I know this is already old, but it still give us comfort and home, and it welcomes all people who feel grateful to feel the love of our heavenly parents and true parents. Next one is my regional leaders who always continues to give us guidance in the region, with the guidance, of course, of our national leaders and all international leaders. Thank you for all your efforts. I know that you hear a lot of things in your mission, complaints from your members, but you still are standing to let these people feel our true parents and heavenly parents' heart. And of course, to our international leaders, especially to Dr. Kittle and Reverend Hori, although you come from advanced countries, but you still help my country, the Philippines, to let Filipino people know that there's still hope for this nation. And lastly, I would like to thank my family who gave me physical life in this world, that I am able to feel things, feel the love of the creation, especially the trueness of all things in this world. And of course, to myself, despite of all the difficulties, I am still here standing and also keeping brothers and sisters, especially the young people, to feel what love is, and also allowing families in the field to feel the essence of being a true parent to their children. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ate, for sharing. And yeah, I remember whenever we go to Baguio, you are the one who welcome us. Thank you so much, Ate, for all your hard work. Once again, let us give a hand to our Ate Reneza. Thank you po. Now, for more guidance and inspiration, let us welcome our national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo Halo.
Thank you very much, our sister Yab. Good morning to our heavenly parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and all humankind. And to all our ancestors and billions of absolute spirits who are really working with us. Good morning to all our beloved leaders who are joining us today, to our Mrs. Kittle, our Sir Julius, and all our leaders and the central families from all over the country, and brothers and sisters. Also, brothers and sisters from Korea, Japan, America. It's really very good to see all of you coming together this morning. really, really grateful to Heavenly Parents and true parents. So I'm also grateful to Ticoni's prayer and also Sister Ren's sharing today. We miss already brothers and sisters in Baguio City, and yeah, we miss also Baguio, very beautiful place. Yeah, thank you so much. So this morning, let's again study true parents' words. Today, I would like to share. Yeah, today is February 16, and tomorrow we will going to join our beloved true mother in the pledge service in Korea, celebrating our true parents' birthday. So already our true father is 101 years old, and then our true mother will be 78 years old. And so tomorrow we will be joining our beloved true mother. So today I will be sharing this topic entitled Caution and Vigilance. Yeah, so when we say caution and then vigilance, like we need to like being careful and being alert. So we need this in our life of faith. So I'd like to start. So Father said, young ones are standing at the crossroads of good and evil. You, the young ones, are standing at the crossroads of good and evil. If you take one wrong step, you might fall into a steep and deep pit of death. Although it is difficult, take the step that will let you stand tall. Then you can become victorious princes and princesses who look out at the hope for a shining tomorrow that lies on the broad plain. Therefore, you need to watch each step. Be careful as you walk on the snow-covered road. So this is our life. Father is reminding us today to be very careful, especially the young people now. So Father said we are like walking on the snow-covered road. So for our brothers and sisters now in Korea, in Japan, in America, so they're experiencing this really substantially because now it's winter time. And then we could see, now I could see from the pictures, now so many snows in America, and then there are a lot of snowstorm. So maybe every day or most of the time during the season, they could experience this kind of situation. So how dangerous when the road is covered with snow, right? You need to be, really watch every step. Father was saying here. Otherwise, you will going to have an accident, right? If you walk in that snow-covered road. So Father is comparing this to our life. Especially our young brothers and sisters. We are standing at the crossroads of good and evil, Father said. Yeah, because of the fall of our first human ancestors, we start to stand in the midway position, right? That's why many times we don't know where to go. We don't know what to do. So that's why Father is telling us every step you need to be very careful. Otherwise, sabi ni Father, one wrong step, you might fall into a steep and deep pit of death. That's why one single mistake. So sabi ni Father, even though it's difficult, you need to take that, take the step that will let you stand tall despite the challenges and difficulties that we are facing now, the situations. But if we are careful and then really do our best, Father said, to really stand tall, then one day we can really become victorious princes and princesses. Aju, that's why our life, we need to be always aware that in every step, every move we do, we need to be very careful because one mistake can, bring us to destruction. Father said, be careful in how we are living our lives. The greater you become, the more you have to watch under your feet. The smaller you become, the more you have to look up to heaven. Be careful about the words you speak. Be careful about what your eyes see. And be careful about the words you hear. Do not listen to self-centered remarks. Do not look at selfish deeds. Do not even talk to the person who lives selfishly, and do not make excuses for yourself. So true parents continuously reminding us from time to time, right? They are always reminding us to be very careful, to be very cautious, with our words, that we give to other people, and then what our eyes see. Not everything that is good for the eyes is really good for our hearts, right? That's why we have to be very careful what our eyes should see. And then be careful about the words you hear, Father said. And then Father is telling us, the greater we become, the more we have to watch, right? The more we become, given higher responsibilities, the more we have to, really humble down. We can learn from nature. We can learn from nature. So if we have this kind of attitude, then always we can avoid danger. We can avoid danger in our life. We're very cautious and always aware, and then always humble, and always really checking our own self, the words that coming out from our mouth, and then even being with people. Father is telling here that do not listen to self-centered remarks, do not look at selfish deeds, and do not even talk to the person who lives selfishly. And then do not make excuses for yourself. So everything in our, how we live our life, we have to be very careful. We need to be aware with the impact that we can, give. Sometimes, as fallen human beings, we are always being carried by our emotions. Sometimes even in our own families, there are words that suddenly comes out because of the situation. We couldn't control our emotion. We couldn't control, our everyday life. It is really dangerous, right? And then we can, commit serious mistake that will really, bring destruction to our life. That's why Father said we have to be careful in how we are living our lives. Father said, think well before you act. To be public means to live for the whole, and to be private means to live for the self. When you calmly evaluate yourself, you may find yourself in a quandary over what is public and what is private. Therefore, religion teaches fasting, suffering, modesty, and humility in order to restrain the body which is inclined to be self-centered. Think once, twice, and 3 times before you act. Why we need to be very careful before we act? Father said, think once, twice, 3 times. Because Father standing here, our body is inclined to be self-centered. That's why to be evil, Father is telling us, we don't need education, right? To be evil. Why we are being educated, why we need education. What is really the main purpose of education? For us, for people to be good, right? This is the main purpose of education. More than, gain knowledge, to become, intelligent person, to know every, things. But most importantly, the main purpose of education is for people to be good. Because if we will not be educated, naturally, people will live selfish lives. People will live, evil lives. Because this is, became our nature after the fall of our first human ancestors. That's why religion now is teaching these things, how to be humble, right? And then deny oneself. Focus on the higher purpose. That's why we are doing fasting, we go through difficulties. We are really putting ourselves, Father taught us, and then push us to suffering, to difficulties, for the purpose of really denying ourselves and be able to become good people. This is really the main purpose. Why we need education, why we need training. That's why this is the main purpose of religion. Helping someone to really deny oneself and really regain our original position as heavenly parents children, and really help us to really practice goodness in our life and really separate from selfishness, because this is what became our status because of the fall of our first human ancestors. That's why before we act, Father said we need to think once, twice, 3 times, 100 times what will become the impact of our action, our words. It's really, really important to be reminded. Always we prioritize what is really public. Father saying here, if you think for the whole, that is public. If you think only for yourself, that is private, right? That's why we are always being reminded of living for the sake of others. This is the only way to separate from selfishness, right? That's why really we are grateful to our beloved true parents. Today, true parents is really teaching us very important points in our life. Father said, we must be cautious all the time. All unwarranted or improper statement can ruin your entire life. Hearing one unrighteous word can ruin your entire life. One wrong action can also ruin your life. Making a wrong friend can also lead you to ruin your life. Hence, many saints and sages have taught that we should be cautious about what we hear, say, and do, and about whom we take for friends, east or west, past or present. This philosophy is true. So this is not only for certain people, Father is saying. People from the east, from the west, from the past, until the present, this philosophy is true, is applicable. This is universal, right? This is universal. That's why, sometimes even when we were young, also we remember some people really, they choose friends, right? Because it really influences you. Also, when we join in our church, sometimes we have, also some close friends in our movement. If you are close to someone who is really, really faithful and really dedicated, also you can, become, like him or like her. But if you are close to someone, in our movement also like always, shaking, not stable, also you became like that person also, right? That's why even Father is saying here, be careful in choosing even your friends, someone to be close to, right? So many saints and sages, Father said, have taught that we should be cautious about what we hear, what we say, what we do. So everything, all saints and sages who have lived in the past, they are teaching also about this one, right? So Father is saying just one, unwarranted or improper statement can ruin your entire life. Even sometimes some people, they just hear one word, already their entire day, right? Not only their entire day, Father is saying here, even their entire life can be ruined. One action can ruin your entire life. So how careful we should be, right? Because it talks about our whole life. That even just one word, one action can ruin your life. That's why we have to really take really, precaution. We need to be very careful in how we are living our everyday life. That's why all the time, Father said, we have to be very, very careful. So Father said, one righteous good statement at the opportune time can bring success to a life. On the other hand, one righteous good statement at the opportune time can bring total dramatic success to a life. Hearing the right things at the right moment can lead to a decision that will make an entire life successful. One right action at the right time can bring great success. It is the same with making a friend. For example, a sister here could go out to the street, meet a good man, and have one conversation. That could be enough to initiate a friendship that leads to him becoming her husband. So, really, how important just one thing, one good action. Father said a while ago, one word, one action can ruin your life. But in the same way, one good statement, one righteous word that was given at the opportune time, Father said, can bring success to our life. That's why sometimes, we are not aware. Sometimes when we are guiding or, some just sharing with brothers and sisters, sometimes we could speak one word that bring them so much inspiration. Already like, when we started to learn and study through parents' words, sometimes we just meet one word, listen one word, already like, we are already, fulfilled and ready to, do everything. So that's why just one word, very, very important. One statement, one action, it can either ruin or give success or bring success to our life. How important it is, right? So Father is explaining here one he's giving one example, just a simple meeting and then can lead to becoming husband or wife. Many situations like this in the outside world. They just meet somewhere or even in the internet, and then at the end they become husband and wife. So really just one single thing, single moment, very very important in our life. That's why we have to be very, very careful. Kaya kailangan natin talagang mag-ingat sa buhay natin. It can bring you success into your whole life, or it can bring ruin or destruction in your whole life. Kaya ganun ka-importante. Father is reminding us today. So simple matter can cause great and happiness. This is important to understand. Father said, the road to misfortune does not ordinarily start from a major crisis. More often, it is a trivial matter that opens the door to great and happiness. This is important. Sometimes we don't give, priority, or we are not giving emphasis to, small things. Sometimes we always ignore small things. Ano yun? Maliit lang yan, bayaan mo na. Sometimes this is our nature, right? Maliit lang na bagay yan, maliit lang na bagay. But actually, everything begins from small things. Father is saying here, the road to misfortune does not ordinarily start from a major crisis. More often, it is a trivial matter that opens the door to great and happiness. Because we are not aware, we are ignorant sometimes, many times. And then we disregard small things. But actually, these small things can open door for great and happiness. Father is saying, it is hard to overcome even a small difficulty as long as your thinking is self-centered. Therefore, you should think twice about what you are doing. In analyzing great mistakes or serious crimes, we invariably find that if the person had thought of the impact his actions would have on the well-being of others, he probably would not have committed such a blunder. So before we do something, kahit na maliit lang yon, maliit na bagay, Father said, we need to think what will be the impact before we say something. Right? What will be the impact? Father said, if we realize before we say something that this if I will say this, it will bring unhappiness. If we start to realize things like this, then we will hold back. We will not going to say these things, or we will not going to do it. Right? That's why it's important. It's important, really important. It can bring to great unhappiness, Father said, if we mistakenly say something or do something without thinking about it. That's why simple matter. Actually, we can many things that proves, and really big things always starts from small beginning, right? Sometimes in practical way of life. For example, some small thing when you're driving motorcycle, for example, and then you're not wearing helmet, and then when you're driving, and then one small thing came to your eyes, right? What will going to happen? You might get into accident. You might lose your life. That's why simple matters, Father said, simple matter, simple things, small things can bring you to great and happiness. That's why sometimes people are thinking how to avoid misfortune, right? And then we only focus with big things, and then we always disregard the small things. But actually, Father is saying that the small things open the door for great and happiness, the destruction of everything. That's why we have to be very careful, especially in the small things. To the details, sometimes we are not much detailed people, right? Most of us. That's why now, True Father is reminding us, these small things really very important in our life. So Father said, think twice before you act, particularly when we are faced with making an important decision. You are liable to choose the path to misfortune unless you stop to think twice before you act, to check whether your thinking is public or self-centered. So those who reason from selfishness are truly their own worst enemy. So sabi ni Father, if we will not going to think twice, for sure, sabi niya ni Father, you are liable to choose the path to misfortune. So, kasi nga, this world is still, an evil world. Right? And then the influences that really influence us in our daily life, more on the evil side still. Kaya nga sabi ni Father, we need to think twice. Think thrice. Otherwise, if you will not do this, then the path that you will be choosing will leading you to misfortune. Basically, this is the path that people are being, ang napipili natin. The path that we are always being, we choose is the path to misfortune. Unless, sabi ni Father, you stop and think twice before you act. Kaya very important. in our everyday life. Every day we are making decision in our life. Hindi lang yung mga malalaking decisions, right? But every day we are making decisions. Small, a lot of, every day, if we will count, every day we are making decisions. So if we just, decide, without really thinking thrice, Father said, then these decisions will lead us to misfortune. That's why we can see actually now, brothers and sisters, when we join, that's why I feel, sorry, thinking of many brothers and sisters came to our movement. Of course, they have their portions of responsibilities. Marami sa atin, we join our movement, and then along the way, and then we leave, and then after how many years again, we come back. There's actually no other way. We realize there's no other way. This is the only way. But the most painful part there is already you are here, right? You're already here. You have already sacrificed so much, and then because of making wrong decision in our life, we didn't really think well, and then we left. Many things we couldn't overcome, and then we go another way, and then we suffer more. Actually, we suffer more deeply in our hearts, and then still we continue to find a way until one day we have to come back, because this is the only way, right? There's no other way to overcome misfortune in our life, only this way with our heavenly parent, with our true parents, with our true mother now. This is the only way. That's why we have many young people in the Philippines, right? Already we are here. We really need to think seriously how we are moving in our life, how we are living our life every day. That's why when difficulties comes, it's not for us to go another way, to divert, right? But Heavenly Parents is trying to help us to be strong, right? When when you determine to rise a high mountain, it's not easy, right? It's really not easy. But to go that way, there's no other way to go. You have to just face difficulties. You have to just determine. That's why when difficulties comes, it's not to find another path, but Heavenly Parents is helping you to really overcome and helping you to become stronger every step of the way, right? So you just need to push through, and then one day you can be successful, you can be victorious. That's why one decision in our life, very, very important. Kaya for many of our young brothers and sisters, we can learn already from our elders. We can see many of our elders, the central families, they are really the example of really absolute faith who became successful. Kaya tayo rin, we have to really look wisely in the situations of in our life. Kapag makita mo yan siya, of course there are difficulties, there are negative things makita, but do not look on those things, do not capitalize on those things. Right? That's why ultimately our true parents, they are our example. But for us, young members, sometimes very difficult to connect to true parents. And then we go down a little bit to our elder members, our pioneers. Nakita nga natin sila how much difficulties they have gone through, but now they are very successful in their life. They are happy. They could raise up wonderful children. Now already 3 generations, right? We can see. That's why we have to also be practical in seeing things, right? For sure, you will be successful even more than them. Tayo, we gain this momentum and then we inherit from them. That's why tayo rin, we have to really take the advantage that we have now. We have to look at, the success that our elders have gained. These are really the results. These are the results. They made the right decisions. So sila yung mga tao na nag-decide ng tama. And then they never deviated despite the challenges and difficulties, right? They always prioritize the higher purpose. Heavenly Parent, true parents, for the world, for our nation, for their descendants, for their ancestors, going beyond self-centered thinking. That's why this is really important. This is really important. Kaya nga, ngayon, very clear na the path that we are going through. So whatever difficulties, just set aside these difficulties, just continue to move forward, right? You have made the right decision. Dapat ngayon, hindi na tayo nagdududa. Did I made the right decision? Already you made the right decision. All of us who are here now, we made the right decision. We just need to move on continuously. Aju, very, very important. So Father said, one moment is important. The fall of Adam and Eve was not the result of a planned failure that took 1 year or 10 years. Their failure was brought forth in one moment. And that failure of a moment became the base for the corruption of the kingdom that had been in preparation for millions of years. When we think about this, we realize how fearful one moment is. Really, when we realize this, Father said, how fearful one moment is. This failure of Adam and Eve, this is not planned. Sometimes we need to make plan. For 1 year, sabi ni Father dito, this is not a result of a planned failure, that took 1 or 10 years. This happens only in one moment. Kaya nga tayo, actually, we can commit mistake anytime. Kaya nga, we cannot be complacent. We cannot feel, always, we cannot relax. Kaya sabi, ang title ng natin ngayon, Vigilance, you need to be always alert, like a soldier. Right? Even while you're sleeping, anytime Satan can come. Ibig sabihin, kailangan natin maging alert. Right? Otherwise, we lose our way. We lose our connection to Heavenly Parent, to true parents. Satan always want to come anytime. And then, Satan is always waiting for the right time. Satan is very wise, right? He will come the moment when you lose pag hindi ka na naging alert, naging complacent ka na, naging relax ka na, that moment, Satan will come. That's why we have to be always vigilant, Father said. Right? Because one moment can destroy your life. Right? One moment can destroy your entire lineage. Right? That's why even as blessed family, even may mga anak na tayo, may third generation ka na, still, you need to be always alert. Satan is still, can come. Right? That's why to become filial son and daughter, sabi nga ni Father, actually, even at the last moment of our life, we can deviate. So, really, later we can say how filial son and daughter we are when we go to the spiritual world. If we keep until the very last moment. Until the very last moment. So now we cannot really say yet, I'm a filial son, I'm a filial daughter. Until the very moment, until the last moment of our life. We have to keep that filial heart to heaven. Right? That's why one moment is really, really important sa buhay natin. We have to really think deeply about this. And then really be careful in how we are living our life. Because otherwise, in that one moment, that can destroy everything. All the foundations that we have laid. Already 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or 30, 40 years in our movement. Still, right? Still, we can, commit something that can destroy everything. That's why we have to be very careful. We have to be always aware. One moment is really, really important. Aju? So Father said, due to the failure of a single moment, people walking the religious path in every age have had to pay a price of great suffering. Numerous secular people, too, have been ruined by a single misstep of a moment. All their subsequent suffering became part of a tremendous sacrificial offering for indemnity. When we understand this, every hour that we ordinarily live so casually becomes fearful. Even a single second within that hour. And we want to exert ourselves to make it a success. That's why kapag naintindihan po talaga natin when we started to realize, if I started to realize this, I will be more careful. Sabi ni Father, the usual way we live our life, second, minute, hour past, this ordinary way of life will change once we started to understand. And then we realize that every moment sa buhay natin is actually fearful. We can commit something that can ruin everything, that we will lose everything that we have accumulated, right? That's how important sa buhay natin. Kaya we cannot really relax sa buhay natin. Anyway, blessed na ako ngayon. Okay na, blessed na ako. Some people are thinking, brothers and sisters natin, always I can hear because I was always with young people, young brothers and sisters. Sabi nila, magpa-bless na ako. There's some motivation para raw maprotektahan sila. Mas fun na ako kasi blessed na ako. Mas protected na ako kasi blessed na ako. It's not true. Right? Even though you have your old children already, you have your grandchildren. If you lose, you became relaxed, Satan will surely come and destroy everything that you have accumulated. Right? That's why it's not, like that. You have to always think. And then really have clear purpose and motivation why you are doing things. Hindi ka magpapabless para maprotektahan ako, for my protection. Hindi yun ganon. Right? What is really the purpose of the blessing? You have to really understand, right? Brothers and sisters, kaya nga, really, how we are living our life, how I live my life, I need to really reflect deeply and really be more serious from now on. Every minute, every second, every hour is really, really important. I need to be serious, right? Of course, hindi naman ibig sabihin na maging serious tayo, hindi na tayo ngumingiti, always laging ng ganon, hindi po ganon. So, always we have to really think deeply in our hearts. Every moment, ang buhay natin is really important. We shouldn't be relaxed and complacent sa natin, situations natin, but always alert and always be aware. And then always reminded that every moment is important sa buhay natin. It determines our success. So Father said, every hour and every minute of our life is fearful. Every hour in your daily life is fearful. Even each minute of every hour. Know how to struggle for every moment. For apart from one moment, heaven cannot exist. Kaya nga, why true parents trained us? Kaya nga ang tawag sa atin, we are heavenly soldiers. Right? We are heavenly soldiers. So we can see when we look at soldiers, sa mga sundalo, sa mga pulis, sa mga na-train ng husto, we are really grateful. We have our general na nakatapos ng 3-day ceremony, si General Batawil, Mayor ng Pangasinan. You know, really, because they were really educated very well then, yung wife niya lalo na, and then really, I was really, really happy to see our General Batawil. So now he is not only a police general na, he is already also heavenly general. Kasi ngayon, really everything will change in their life kasi nakatapos na sila ng 3-day ceremony. Kaya, when we look at the way, the lifestyle of police officers, mga na-train talaga, mga sundalo, really they are always alert. They were trained like that. Right? Di po ba? So, tayo rin, actually, we are heavenly soldiers. We are heavenly soldiers. Kaya, we should be always alert every moment. Sabi ni Father dito, we cannot separate, moment. Kingdom of heaven cannot exist apart from single moment. Kaya, ibig sabihin, when we think about, building kingdom of heaven, living our daily life, every moment is really important. This is connected in building kingdom of heaven. Hindi dapat tayo maging, minsan seryoso ka, minsan hindi, ganito, then we cannot build. Kingdom of heaven, cannot exist, Father said, if like this. Right? That's why it's really, really important. Every hour and every minute ng buhay natin, we have to always really think how important it is. And then, we have to always, be connected to Heavenly Parent. The moment we separate, then that's the time Satan can come. Difficulties we cannot overcome. Kaya nga palagi, i-maintain natin. Tayo sa cellphone, gusto natin palaging may signal. Nag-struggle tayo pag walang signal, di ba? So, ganun din po sa buhay natin in our life. We need to always have signal to Heavenly Parent, to true parents. Kailangan lagi tayong connected, hindi tayo pupunta sa lugar na walang signal. Otherwise, we will not receive, inspiration. Kaya lagi tayo dapat nasa may coverage na area. Kaya kahit na single moment, we shouldn't, be relaxed na nandoon ka sa walang signal na area. Cannot be reached, right? That's why every moment sa buhay natin, we need to always make sure that we are really under Heavenly Parents, we are connected. Every moment is truly, truly special. So Father said, we must be prudent in every moment of our lives. If only Noah had been more prudent in the days after the flood, he would not have become drunk and lay naked. Would he have done such a thing if he had thought it over a bit more? With just a little more prudence and patience, he would not have allowed himself to get drunk. We can definitely say his mission would have succeeded if he had continued to be prudent. So we learn from history. We study and napag-aralan po natin itong mga ito not to criticize po ang mga central figures in the past, but we could learn. And then we can be kung po ngayon, we can apply sa buhay natin and learn. We will not do the same mistake in the past, so that we can be successful ngayon. So sabi ni Father dito, kung si Noah lang daw po, if Noah, kung inisip lang niya more, later naging careful siya, naging more patient si Noah that time, then for sure, Father said, definitely, he will become successful. He succeeded in his mission. Sabi ni Father, kung naging more careful lang si Noah. Can you imagine? He sacrificed for 120 years. Grabing sacrifice ni Noah. Followed God absolutely. But at the last moment, after the flood, yun na yung parang pansana to determine yung success or hindi yung natapos niya yung ark Di po ba? But the last moment, what happens? He is not careful. Then, he lose everything. And then, continuation, Father said, likewise, when Abraham was making his offering, why did he only divide 2 of the 3 offerings and neglect to cut the birds? He would not have made the mistake if he had thought more carefully as he was arranging the offering. When Jacob was receiving his trial from heaven, he never relaxed his mental vigilance for a moment. So, we can hear. So, ito po, we have this kind of nature. Sometimes, we are doing many things and then we became very tired. Tapos, isa na lang iiwan, bukas na lang yan. We inherited this kind of nature. So, si Abraham, he sacrificed so much and then, grabe po yung ginawa niya. And then, just one small thing na lang sana ang gagawin niya and then, he neglect it. Hindi yun po siya inantok, but he couldn't understand and then he just neglect it. Then what happens? So, he made the mistake that, entire mga descendants niya suffered for hundreds of years. So, we can learn from these central figures, but also we can really learn from Jacob. So, si Jacob naman po, when Jacob was receiving his trial from heaven, he never relaxed his mental vigilance for a moment. So we can learn from Jacob. He was the first one who succeeded. Jacob. So si Jacob is very, alert from even single moment. Father said he keep his mental vigilance. He's very alert, more than a soldier. So because of that kind of attitude and character, then Jacob became successful. Kaya ganun din po sa buhay natin in our life. So Father today is teaching us. Even though we are now living in the 9th year of Channel Book, ibang era na po ngayon, God's intervention is with us, is still our portion of responsibility. We cannot neglect it. We cannot just, anyway, andyan naman si Heavenly Parent. Di ba? Nandyan naman si True Mother. We cannot say that, right? We have to always be alert, no matter what, in order for us to really become successful in our life, right? Continuously. Until the last moment ng buhay po natin. Not just until the blessing, not just until you build family, right? Until the very moment of our life, how can we keep it? Really true filial son and daughter until the very end. So our life should be every moment. We have to be very, very cautious not to commit really things that will really ruin our entire generation. Kaya po ngayon, napakahalaga po talaga ng time natin, lalo na ngayon, in this second 7-year course with our beloved True Mother. Every moment ngayon, very, very important, very, very special. Kaya ngayon din talaga yung time that we have to really, I'm really happy to see many brothers and sisters now attending here. Our brothers and sisters, kahit matagal na silang hindi na meet then before, ngayon I'm really, really happy to see them. Really, Heavenly Parent is calling all of us now and really reminding us of all the things that you have done and contributed. So, it's not, hindi pa po huli ang lahat. This is really now the time. And then, we have to, gather again our resolve and really determine that from this moment, from this time, we're going to really live, really filial life every moment sa buhay natin until the very end. Hindi lang yung makapag-build na tayo ng 3 generations, hindi lang po yun. Until the moment we go to the spiritual world, we have to keep this, vigilance and really cautious how we live our life. And then for sure, we can be victorious, whatever challenges and difficulties. Kasi nga po, kahit na ganito na ngayon yung era, advanced na, still there will be challenges and difficulties continuously. But if we always keep this in our mind, in our heart, there's no more impossible things. Everything is possible now. With Heavenly Parent and True Parents, the entire spiritual world is really working with us. Kaya po ngayon, talagang this education that True Parents is teaching us is really, how to improve and develop our life, our own character. Kaya ako rin, I'm really learning a lot. How to really, kasi nga, this is really the first blessing. Dito naman po talaga nagsisimula ang lahat. Mind and body, how we live our life. And then later, we will bring this practice in our own families. And then to our entire clan. Diyan naman po talaga yung nagsisimula. That's why if we are aware like this and live our life like this, and then our children will inherit. Yung mga anak po natin, i-inherit nila. Kapag tayo, wala tayong ganitong practice sa buhay natin, what will our children inherit later on? Right? Sila rin, they will live more challenging life. Kaya ngayon tayo, heavenly parents, true Father now is teaching us. Really, these are really important in our life ngayon for our descendants then, for our descendants. Then we can keep this kind of life until we pass on to the spiritual world. And then for sure, we can really become successful. Kaya po ngayon, every moment sa buhay natin, we have to be very cautious. We have to be very careful and always be vigilant. Even though Satan surrendered already to true parents, but the blood, is still, especially those who are not blessed yet, and then is still the environment we are living in, is still a lot of influence. Kaya nga still we are always we need to be always alert. Kaya nga ngayon we are really working hard po for we need to change the culture, the environment where we are living in para yung mga susunod na generations po natin later on. That's why no matter what, heavenly parents and true parents have called us for this mission, right? No matter what, we have to fulfill this. We are really still in the battle. Nasa battle pa rin po talaga tayo. Until the moment that we can really bring complete victory, we will never stop. We will continue until the very end. So in this journey, being cautious in our life and being vigilant is absolutely necessary for us. Aju. So let's really give our gratitude and appreciation to our heavenly parents and true parents. So once again, thank you very much to all our beloved leaders and brothers and sisters. Let's really work together and really also encourage all brothers and sisters to come together and really bring victory for our heavenly parent and for our beloved true parents, and also for our nation. So once again, may heavenly parents' blessings and love be upon you and your families. Thank you very much. Kamsahamnida.
Yes, thank you so much. Let us give a hand to our heavenly parent and true parents and to our beloved national leader for that very powerful message this morning. Kamsahamnida. Thank you so much po. Very awakening message. So let's proceed to our reflection, sharing. So is there anyone who wants to volunteer to share? Yes. Thank you so much, Sir Com Francis from NLTP. We volunteered. Let us welcome the Director of National Leadership Training Program, Francis Nolasco.
Thank you so much. Good morning po, heavenly parents and true parents. Good morning to our national leader, to all leaders, to our brothers and sisters and members. Good morning po sa lahat. So this time po, I'm very inspired. Thank you so much, and also to the amazing guidance this morning. I really realized many things actually, and this time I want to share what I realized. The topic is about caution and vigilance. So this time po, I realized that all people should really have a proper training and education. I remember when I was just a simple member when I joined the movement. I remember that before I really should be careful and I should be really be determined for what the training that I need to undergo. So I'm just listening as a member when I was there in the MFT in the front line for what I saw, what I see there in the front line, what I hear, what I speak, or people speak in front of me in the front line in MFT training. I remember everything that I should be careful and I should really not just only focus for the negativities, but just for also for the positive, most especially most of the time. So I remember that time. So I should be always alert. And I'm very grateful to Heavenly Parents and True Parents that in this movement or that when I was witness, I'm very thankful because we have this kind of training, MFT, so that for me to understand many things about God, about my life of faith, about myself, my determination, what is life, what is the future. So also I understand now that I realize we should be reminded to live for the sake of others again and again every day of our life. So it's very important because once we understand how to live for the sake of others, we think God, we think for others. We don't have any chance to think always about ourselves, because if we always think about ourselves and we always think not to think about others, we will become selfish. And I understood that one when I was there in the front line during the time of MFT time. So I feel amazed to true parents to have this kind of mind, to have this kind of decision making, to put all the members in the MFT formula course, to understand what is to live for the sake of others. And I think to live for the sake of others, this is the way to get out to being a selfish person, self-centered person. So that's why when I study in IPLC and undergone training, I decide to myself that I need to be really become serious to my life, like in decision making. So I realized I'm not like this before when when the time that I don't know the movement, I don't know true parents. That's why I'm very thankful to my spiritual parents who invite me. So thank you so much for them. And this time I overcome so many things actually. Very important for this guidance that I realize is overcoming. Should be become always be aware within myself that I should always check my motivation, my purpose, why I need to live my life now. What is the purpose why I live now and to have my life this time. So that's why thank you so much. I realized also this time again I was reminded, thank you so much for all the pioneering elders, brothers and sisters, leaders, blessed families who really invest so much to us as as a young ones. That most especially this time, I want to give example about the San Pablo Center. We don't have this kind of good center if without the sacrifice and pioneering heart or sacrificial heart of our elder brothers and sisters, the blessed family, that we could really now value that we should become grateful as a young member now, as a young ones. Thank you so much to them and also to their sacrifice to have their right decision to really become a full time and invest and really sacrifice themselves so that for us in the future generation will benefit. So that's why me now as a center leader, also as a leader of NLTP, I should really keep this kind of gratitude to heavenly parents and true parents, to our beloved elder brothers and sisters, to those who pioneer in the San Pablo Center. If we are not aware, this also I realize, if we are not aware, Satan always there in one moment that our national leader emphasized, our Sir Lay, that really Satan easily to dominate us, to claim us, to dominate us, to invade us. So that's why we should become always aware and we should really become always ourselves busy. So that's why when I was just a member, I realized this one. We have hundoke early morning. I need to wake up. And after hundoke, of course, in hundoke, need to be aware, need to be awakened, my mind, my spiritual mind to know my spiritual body to be understand what is God, what is God's word. And after hundoke, need to go in cleaning, vitality elements, cleaning. After that preparation, go to school in IPLC to study. And if no study, we need to go in the front line. If no front line, we are in Tongilmudo. If nothing to do, finish everything cleaning. We need to have reading condition, some full bow condition. We make our life or myself during the time I was a member. I make myself busy every time I'm awake. So after that, I realized in the whole day, my physical body is tired. So I will just sleep. Before I sleep, I pray. We have closing. So I will sleep that really very grateful. So even in my dream, I think Satan cannot enter because my body was so tired in the daytime. So I will sleep and I will woke up again early. So I will become busy. So I think this is realization that all the members should realize, that we should become grateful to our training, to our heavenly parents and true parents, to have this kind of training to all the members. So that's why I really very thankful to God and true parents. So this is a very important to be keep our mental vigilance, should be always alert and aware. So that's why when I understand this one, until now, when I become a blessed family already, thank you so much. Our national leader is very right. We will never become confident, even though we're blessed family. Because actually, the hard part that I realized, the very dangerous part, is when we become leader and we don't have any more captain and commander anymore who will lead. But we as a blessed family already, we should come always alert, because we are the one who decides sometimes already our time. As a leader also, we become leader already. I become a leader also within myself. I reflect. If I'm a leader now in a blessed family, so I should become more alert and reflect to myself if I will become lazy already. So I need to check and evaluate myself more. So now, so when I realized when I was a member, still now I carry that one, that kind of realization and awareness. So when I was a member, I need to always myself make busy cleaning, because I believe cleaning is, next to godliness. If we clean, so always make ourselves busy. After cleaning, we can see the reality that those dirt things, dirt place, we clean. So that is our accomplishment when we saw that after cleaning, we clean the toilet, our room, our center. Wow, it's a big accomplishment. It's like very good realization. So after that, we can just sit and relax and just somehow some snacks and read and praying condition, prayer condition. Wow, it's so amazing. So that's why for the future generation, this is our preparation. So that the leaders all like me, that as an elder, as a leader also, I should become role model and example, that we should become always aware for the things that I also told, the decision making that I made in my life. So I wish that everyone within myself also, I reflect within myself, that is a very good uh, example to reflect and to really understand many things about God and through parents. So this what we are doing, what I'm doing is this is for my next generation, future generation. So I wish that I could do more. So this is a great realization for me. And that's why thank you so much to all the leaders and elders. And I wish that I could do more. So that is my reflection. So thank you so much to everyone, and God bless, and have a blessed morning to all. Thank you so much po. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you so much, Brother Francis, for your sharing. Let us give a hand to our Brother Francis Nolasco. Thank you so much. Yes, next, another volunteer. Let us welcome Pastor Ernesto Elano. Welcome, Pastor.
Okay, so good morning, Dr. Kitel, Sir Julius Malikdim, Sir LA, to all leaders, elders, brothers and sisters. So thank you so much, Sir LA, for that very inspiring message, reminders for all of us for our responsibility. So actually, I'm so inspired about that message. So actually, we are so very lucky and grateful that in our church we have this kind of tradition that through hondoke, so we can be careful. That's why what's the purpose of our morning hondoke? Before we do anything, we need to offer to report to Heavenly Parents what we need to do so that we can be guided. And every night we have closing prayer so that we can repent what we couldn't do or accomplish on that day that we offer. So anyway, so I reminded what Sir L.A. mentioned about what's the failure of our central figure, even Abraham, Noah, they mentioned. Actually, this time, this is also encouragement to all our blessed family and blessed member who are listening this morning. So we should not neglect what is our responsibility as a blessed family. We are talking about national restoration, how we can create heavenly unified world. So mostly I already finished to give orientation about the educational pipeline, how to become heavenly tribal messiah, how to be chunbo couples. So this time I start also to visit for the core member of Quezon City to encourage how to be chunbo couples or HDM. we're talking about national restoration. So this is like we are one family. In Quezon City, if I'm only the one who can become Chunbo, victorious tribal messiah, I should not be happy. As long they have blessed family, blessed member that they not yet start their HT in. So we should not neglect this second year formula course of our True Mother. That how we can really, True Mother, talking about True Mother is really old enough. So we need to grab this opportunity this time. So all blessed family, blessed member, I don't want also blessed family. Actually, they sacrifice a lot. They work hard. No? So they are the pioneer. So I want all the blessed family, blessed member, that they are the next to become, supposed to be, there should be the one become Chunbu couples. So that's why I encourage also to all the blessed member, younger brothers and sisters, that how we can also help, how we can really support our elders, no, to fulfill their mission. So we cannot restore this nation if only the regional leader working hard. So we need also all the blessed family to work together. How we can make our city, region to become, at least we're talking about 1/3 of the population of this nation to be restored. So that's why this time we need to work together as a one family. How we can be more serious and sincere. How to restore this nation to become a substantial Chunilgo. The leaders cannot do this one. So that's why, please, all our blessed family, blessed member, let's support all our leaders in each region. No, so let's work together. No, we just fulfill our 5% of responsibility. This is very clear what True Mother said. As long we fulfill, as long we become Chunbu couples, we already fulfill the 5% of responsibility. So as a Chunbu couples also, we should not stop. We should be the multiplier of victorious heavenly tribal Messiah. We should encourage, guide all our blessed family, blessed member, how to guide them, how to start their heavenly tribal Messiah. So 7-year course, this is our offering that while True Mother is still in this physical world. So as a children, even we receive, even we graduate, and then if our parents already pass away, who will give award? Who will be proud of us? So we should be victorious while True Mother is still alive. So thank you so much, Sir LA, for that very inspiring, and this is reminders to all of us that blessed family, blessed member, how we can really work together as a family, how we can help our nation to become a substantial Chunilguk nation. So we just finished the Rally of Hope. So I'm so sorry, even in Quezon City, we could not bring so much VIP. But I know that there are so many regions that they brought VIP, many attended. They have even memorandum of agreement. But still, even in Quezon City, even I have not so much VIP. I'm trying to help all, encourage all our blessed family, that how we can also, they become also victorious heavenly tribal Messiah. So once again, thank you so much, Sir LA, for that very inspiring and very good reminders to all of us. God bless. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Pastor Ernie, for sharing. Let us give hand to our Pastor Ernie Ernesto Ilano. Thank you so much po, Pastor Ernie, for sharing. Now, let us hear one more reflection from, let us welcome Ma'am Karil Sagliba from IPLC. Welcome, Ate Karil.
Good morning. Naririnig ba ako?
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay. Okay, good morning, brothers and sisters. Actually, I want to grab this opportunity to thank all of you, most especially our Reverend Hori and Sir LA, by helping our Brother Roland Ryan Nagufoy. So in behalf of our batchmates, we are really grateful and thankful. And he is happy right now. And I want to reflect about the internal guidance. I think our true parents are reminding us, like one of my inspiration, our true parents always like telling us life is a fleeting moment. And for me, I think relationship is very important, most especially for the people that we love and the people who love us. I think that it's very important how we can relate and how we can cherish those moments. And I think no matter how cautious we are, how vigilant we are, if it's our time to go to the spirit world, then we have to be ready and we have to accept it. Our true parents always remind us that we should live a life with meaning and purpose. And sometimes I am also guilty about like the internal guidance yesterday, that sometimes we like speak words that hurt other people. And I also learned that meanings are in people, not in words. Sometimes when you want to share those words to care for that person, and if that person is not ready to accept it, then that will be very painful. But I learned also like in guiding people, you have to be like ready also for the challenges and everything that will happen. So my dear brothers and sisters, I pray that all of us can fulfill our, yeah, portion of responsibility. And just like our true father always remind us, investment of a sincere heart is never been wasted. So there are brothers and sisters fighting their own battles, and we don't like time to like say how are you, or and I think we need more of that, like checking on each other, and giving like courage and hope. And I pray and I hope that all of us can really help one another, and at the same time let us be more grateful and, yeah, be contented with our life with our true parents. And yeah, in behalf of our batch, from my IPLC family, which is my batchmates, we are really grateful for those people who really help us, like the blessing of Roland and everything. Thank you so much, my dear brothers and sisters, to our elders. And we will continue. And yeah, for all my batchmates who are listening right now, yeah, we can do this. Let's move on and, yeah, go on. Thank you so much for hard work, and I am so proud of you, and I love you all. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Ate Cariel, for sharing your heart. Let us give love and appreciation to our Ate Cariel Sagrida. Thank you, Ate Cariel. Yeah. Now, let us also hear guidance from our Vice Regional President, Dr. Julius B. Malikdem. Let us welcome him with a virtual applause.
Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, and thank you very much to our Kuya LA for this very important guidance for all of us about caution and vigilance. Thank you for those, for all our brothers and sisters who shared, to Brother Francis, Brother Ernie, Sister Caril. Thank you very much for your sharing. Caution and vigilance. This is so important in our life of faith because we are in a spiritual battle. And this spiritual battle is not only happening for certain days, but 24 hours, the whole day, every second, every minute, we are in a spiritual battle. There is a research about how many decisions do we make every day in an average. Like for an average adult, we make 35,000 conscious decisions every day. 35,000. And in those decisions, some of it might be trivial or very small decisions. But as Father said, sometimes mistakes happen when we repeatedly make small wrong decisions. So that's why being cautious in our life of faith is very important. Being cautious means we are attentive to potential danger. That means you can already feel something is wrong. So if our conscience is very strong, actually this is very good uh, weapon for us to discern things. That's why we have to pray always. Prayerful life for discernment and for wisdom is very important in our life of faith. You know, Confidence is very good. However, that confidence should be anchored on heavenly parents and true parents, not our own self-confidence. Because, self-confidence is very dangerous in our life of faith. Because self-confidence leads to self-centeredness. Meaning to say, I'm like thinking I'm doing this by myself. I am deciding by myself. So this is actually very, very dangerous in our life of faith. That's why sometimes if you are cautious about decision making, people might think you are being coward or always like fearful or afraid. But this is actually very important. When we connect to God's standpoint, we don't decide by ourselves. The danger is when we decide by ourselves. So, brothers and sisters, being cautious means exercising heavenly wisdom. Heavenly wisdom. So it's not just a wisdom centering on ourselves, but heavenly wisdom. That means we always have to think before we speak or before we act on something. We always have to think: Am I doing this for my sake, or am I doing this for heaven's sake or for public sake? That is why you know. Uh, when I say self-centeredness is dangerous, it is because, you know, this will lead to doing something based on our own abilities, based on our thinking, based on our own power. And this is actually very dangerous. So that is why this guidance this morning, brothers and sisters, given by our Kuya Ella is very much important, because whether you are new in the movement or you are already have been here for years and years, but every day is a spiritual battle. That is why important is putting myself in the public position. Putting myself in the public position means I do not just decide by myself. So that's why we have elders, we have our central figures, we have to report always. And I remember there was one second generation who reported to me his decision, her decision. And then the question I asked was, are you reporting to me for me to give guidance, or you're just saying you already decided? So that's why we always have to think. And then because of that, she started to rethink her decision. And then her conclusion was, yeah, I made decisions centering on myself. So that is why, brothers and sisters, we always have to think when we make important decisions. We have to always think, what would God think? What would God tell me to do? What would true parents tell me to do? These are very important always in making decisions in our life of faith. So thank you very much, Kuya LA, for this guidance. Let's have a victorious day today. Thank you. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you so much, Sir Julius. Let us give a hand to our Vice Regional President, Dr. Julius B. Malikden.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much po, sir. Yeah. And to all our elders, brothers and sisters who shared this morning, thank you so much. Before we end, just a short announcement. Tomorrow we will not have Zoom morning devotion, but we will join the pledge service via Peace Link tomorrow, the celebration of True Parents' birthday in Korea. Okay, thank you. May I request Pastor Ernie for the closing prayer?
Please join me in prayer. Good morning, our dearest loving heavenly parents and victorious true parents of heaven and earth and humankind. We'd like to thank you, heavenly parents, for the precious guidance that we receive for this day. We pray that through these words, we could really purify ourselves and we could really reminded ourselves how to fulfill our responsibility that you entrusted to each one of us, heavenly parents. We pray, heavenly parents, that we could really work together, unite as one family, heavenly parents, that how we can really think how to support and make this nation to become a substantial Chunilguk nation, heavenly parents. So loving heavenly parents, we are so blessed that we could really see all our elders, all leaders, brothers and sisters, even we are far in a distance, but we pray, we know that we become closer because of your true love, heavenly parents. So I pray, loving heavenly parents, that what we are doing every day, we can always connect to you, heavenly parents, and how we can always think, how we can this every day become a victorious day to you, heavenly parents. So I pray, loving heavenly parents, that we become more strong spiritually, physically, and mentally, heavenly parents. We know that we have so many things to do, heavenly parents, how we can really think, how we can really comfort and make our true mothers happy, heavenly parents. So thank you for this great opportunity that you given to each one of us, heavenly parents. We pray, we know, heavenly parents, that you expected your children to grow, heavenly parents. And I pray, loving heavenly parents, through this responsibility that you give into each one of us, heavenly parents, we can really understand more deeply your heart, heavenly parents, knowing that your children to go back to our original position, heavenly parents. So thank you so much, heavenly parents. We pray that through this preparation of this coming holiday, we can really prepare ourselves internally and externally, heavenly parents. So thank you so much for this wonderful day that we start this with our morning Hondukoy together with our brothers and sisters through all the nation. All these things as and pray and report this in my name. Ernesto and Kachokomorilan of Bliss Central Family, Aju.
Let us offer our individual prayer.
Yes, loving Father, Heavenly Parents, truly from
bonjour. Let us offer our gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. 감사합니다, Heavenly Parent and true parents, to our leaders, Sir Julius, to our national leader, Sir Reverend Lay Angelo Halog, and to all our leaders, elders, brothers, and sisters, good morning. Thank you for joining. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Brothers and sisters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lola Jassy, good morning.
Hey, Tita Jessie, good morning.